Welcome to Growing Pains and Gains, the podcast where five lifelong friends navigating life across 3 states, Nebraska, Kansas, and Texas, share their real, raw, and often hilarious takes on everything under the sun. Join us as we embrace the growing pains and celebrate the gains that comes with life's journey.
Hey, everybody.
Hola.
I'm Alex.
I'm Audra.
I'm Chelsea.
I'm Kathryn.
And I'm Maria. And this week, we are so excited to have Audra back.
Yay!
She's back with us from her jaw surgery. We were without her for 2 weeks, and we were without Alex. So tonight we have the whole gang.
Well, Alex was at the pod still, but
Oh my goodness! Yes,
both last weeks.
I haven't been gone
the
since
pod.
Mexico, Maria. I would like to go back though. I haven't been gone since Mexico.
I must have forgotten you.
How you feeling?
I am feeling fantastic. I will say that I was never in pain, which is crazy. I was never in pain throughout the whole ordeal. I have like a cast in my upper jaw.
Palate?
Mm.
So it's making it sound like I'm talking really, really crazy, but it's just not. So
You look
Is
so
it like
good,
in the
Audra.
palate of your mouth?
yeah, it's in the roof of my mouth.
It doesn't hurt though?
No, it doesn't hurt at all. I feel fantastic. So I will say
Good.
I honestly cannot imagine the recovery going any better than what it has been going. So I'm very, 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 very thankful. So I'm happy to be back.
And you
Yay.
look so good, Audra.
You
so
do.
Good. I'm just amazed with how much your swelling has gone down from when you first took the
Yeah.
picture.
Yes.
We might have to post the before and after for
No.
y'all.
Yes.
Not the
yes.
swelling. We're not posting the swelling.
Well, you guys post my swelling because that was crazy. But I will say though, like my overall health, how much it's changed. I had very little airway before I got the surgery, and my airway quadrupled. Since
Quadrupled.
She's still numb, guys.
Yeah,
Yes.
she's still
Yeah.
numb.
My whole from my lower lip on down is numb. So if I look like I have a little bit gummy, it's why.
She also has an emotional support rag that she has to
I
wipe
do.
the drool from her lip.
Oh, that's what it's for. Okay.
Yeah. Because I drool really, really bad, and my mom's not here to tell me that I'm drooling. So. So you guys-
Oh, well, we're so
Tell
glad
us
to
what
have
your
you
mom
back.
said. Tell us what your mom said when you had stuff on your face.
She goes, "Oh, Audrey, you got drool on your face." Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know. I can't feel it. And she's like, "Oh, Audrey, you got food all over your face."
Audra, are you going to have to take your emotional support rag to work tomorrow?
Yes, of course. I do.
That's so funny. You're going to be wiping all your makeup off.
I knew. Well, I won't put any makeup on there though. Well, yeah.
Oh, sounds
Oh,
good.
goodness.
Okay,
Yeah.
Audra, why don't you kick us off with our hot topic for this week?
So our hot topic for this week is Remy Bader. For all of you that don't know, she became famous on TikTok. And on TikTok, she was a plus size like creator that did like realistic hauls. So she would do realistic hauls for
Like
uh,
plus size clothing?
like plus
No.
size clothing. Like no, they
Like
weren't plus size.
regular.
Like Halara. She did plus size for like Halara and like a realistic, and it was funny and it was
Yeah,
kind
they're
of
like funny like reels because of like the way that the models will pose and stuff. She would pose like them as a normal sized person, and it was ridiculous. They're funny.
Oh, okay.
yes. And so she would do it, and it was kind of refreshing about seeing someone that had like a realistic body that
Mhm.
everyone could probably relate to in some way or another.
Sure.
And then within the last year, she's lost a lot of weight, like a lot of weight, and she never mentioned how that happened.
Mhm.
Now, for me, I thought she was back on the shots, even though she was adamant she wasn't on the shots, that the shots made her gain like twice the weight that she was beforehand. but I thought that she got back off the shots.
On the semaglutide.
Yes.
Correct?
Mhm. I mean, that's just what I thought because she lost so much weight, but
Yeah.
she never addressed how she lost the weight.
And so
And
on
then
TikTok, all of her followers were really mad, right? Because she
Uh-huh.
wouldn't talk about it. And then I saw like where people would make comments about like asking her if she had had weight loss surgery and she would block them.
Mm-hmm. That's what I
Yes.
saw too.
Mhm. And then she came out on the Khloe Kardashian podcast stating how she lost it, how she lost weight, which was
Mhm.
weight loss. And all of the
Wait.
Oh,
What
go
did
ahead.
I did not hear what you just said.
That she went on the Khloe Kardashian podcast and talked about how she lost weight, which was, weight loss surgery.
Surgery. Yeah,
Mhm.
she had a
Okay.
bariatric surgery. And so 3 days ago, she went on the podcast. And then I guess all of her followers and fans were like enraged that it took her that long to just say how she really lost the weight. Is that accurate? Because I haven't seen the TikToks. I'm not on TikTok.
Yeah,
But you
I
said
only
everybody's
saw the
been going
podcast.
crazy on TikTok.
Uh-huh. Yes.
Okay, so our question is, does she owe it to her followers to tell people that she had surgery?
Yeah, so
No.
I have very mixed feelings about that. And after listening to the Khloe Kardashian podcast, because Alex and I just listened to it earlier today, so we could kind of understand the situation. Because at first I'm like, she is a plus size, kind of that's how she got all of her
She's
following.
an influencer, right?
Right,
Yeah.
correct.
Mhm.
So it is relevant, but at the same time, and that kind of comes with having a platform. I feel like you let people into your world, you let people into what's going on, you allow them in. But at the same time, does she owe anybody anything? No. She doesn't owe anybody anything. It's her
But what
life,
is she influencing, like
Plus size clothes?
okay, that's what she's influencing. She's
No,
not
I don't know.
influencing
I just think
She
that
how
just
she lost
became
weight.
famous,
No.
like,
she's a plus size person.
she was making like content and reels, and so
Yeah.
Of plus size modeling, then she lost all this weight,
Yes. I
right?
believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess now what I heard was that she was, like, influencing, like, stuff that those average size people or that the average size people can relate to now.
Mm.
So that's
Right.
where she's at right now, is that she's, like, now monetizing off of the average size people.
So I feel like she does, if that's what she's influencing now, she's going to mislead those that her influencees, because she's saying that she lost it a certain way.
She didn't ever say that she lost it a certain way. They all
She
just
just didn't.
assumed
Yeah.
because she never
Oh, she
addressed
just
it.
okay.
She never
Okay.
said how
And
she lost it,
right.
but she was posting reels and content of like working out and eating healthy because she had to do that post surgery to maintain it. And then she lost all this weight. And so I think people assumed that since she's eating healthy and exercising and she's not saying how she lost weight, that's like alluding to the fact that she didn't do anything and this is how she lost it, but that's not really
Right.
how she
I just
lost it.
feel like as a person who has always been bigger, that you know that you're not just going to drop, like, I don't know how much she lost. I
She
mean,
said
now she's probably
140
like,
pounds.
yeah, and
in
you
less than a
don't
year.
lose 140 pounds from working
In
out
less
and
than a
eating
year.
healthy in less than a year. Like,
Yeah.
yes, you can absolutely do that, but it takes time.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
there's no way that everybody knew, like, whether you wanted her to tell you or not, like, you knew what was going on just because it
Yeah.
didn't come out of her mouth. I think that I don't know. I think that
Well, and I think another piece to the puzzle that I didn't know until I listened to the podcast, which you probably heard too, Kathryn, is that she said in September of 2023, she had like a breaking point where she like felt awful about herself, that she kept getting like trolled on the internet of like people like making comments about her body size and things like that. And that she made a reel or a post or something saying that even though up until that point she'd been very like open and vulnerable about her life and her struggles and her journey and everything, that she was going to keep it private moving forward because she's struggling basically.
oh, good
And
for her.
so she said that she was going to do that. And then everyone was still upset that she wasn't sharing. And she said on the podcast that she's reshared that post like 6 times,
really?
being like,
Yeah.
guys, I'm
Oh, well
not
then-
sharing everything, but
Well,
people aren't
okay.
listening to it, I
and
guess, is what
if
she was
you-
saying.
So then
Yeah. And so also within that frame of time when she had the surgery, she went through a lot with her boyfriend. He was not
Boyfriend,
emotionally supportive, and he broke up with her. And then she went like into a depression after the surgery. She was told it was going to be like a 5-day recovery. She'd be able to travel within like 5 days of the surgery. And, she couldn't even, like, drink water, like, she wasn't released from the hospital when she was supposed to be, and it took her, like, 6 weeks to kind of get to, like, a
Oh, wow.
stabilized point, and so she went into a deep depression, so she's dealing with depression, trying to figure out how to navigate, this major surgery that she had, and her boyfriend broke up with her, and maybe she just didn't feel like she wanted to talk
Sure.
about it. She's still
Right.
trying to figure out
Right.
life for herself.
Right.
Um,
That's just TikTok. TikTok's gonna TikTok, and they're gonna
Yep.
find
TikTok is
stuff
gonna TikTok,
about everything.
and
Well,
that's
And
and
how
Audra
I
gonna
feel,
listen.
and
Yes, I'll
it's like
believe everything that's said.
it's a blessing and a curse, having when you get to the point where you have a major following. I had never heard of her until we started talking about it for our hot topic. But she has a big following. And so that's kind of like a blessing and a curse. She has these people who support her when everything's going great
right.
and when she's doing what they want her to. And so
Mhm.
she probably had fun when she was building her following up and people were really into it. But then when something happens in her personal life and she doesn't want to share everything about it, then these people, then they start turning on her because she's not doing what they want her to do. And so that's like
Right.
the thing of when you're in the spotlight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I don't think there's absolutely anything wrong with her having the weight loss surgery
No.
and then having to do what you're supposed to do after you have the weight loss surgery, like the
No,
working out and the exercising or the eating healthy and changing her diet. And maybe that's just what she needed
I
Yeah.
don't think
to
there's
push her
anything
over that.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with her doing that at all. Like, she doesn't owe anyone anything. But what I do have a problem with is her blocking people
Yeah, I don't know what that's about. I feel
when
like that's
he
weird.
was asking. Like, when people
Yeah.
were
Yeah.
asking, "Do you have weight loss surgery?" And she would block them. Like, she doesn't owe anything to anyone. However, though, she did make her name being a plus sized influencer.
Right.
So,
Right.
if you're gonna do that, then I think that you owe it to your fans that have been following you for a long time. Sorry. Um, and
Gotta wipe
I
the
think that
drool for those of you that are listening.
they do deserve I don't know if they deserve it, but blocking the people, I think is uncalled for.
No, I
Yeah.
totally agree, Audra. And then you have to think that, especially, I always think of like younger girls that may be, a little bigger
Yeah.
and are looking up to her. And then they're thinking,
Right.
oh, I should be losing this amount of weight in a
And I
year,
haven't,
Exactly.
or
That's what
and
I'm
that's
yeah.
trying to
not
say.
normal.
Yeah.
And so then,
Yeah.
it creates this false expectation, this false narrative. And so then her followers who may be looking up to her are thinking, that's the expectation and that's how they should do it. And then it just kind of, there's all this confusion and uncertainty. And I think that's where all of this, really
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
comes
Yeah.
into play.
1000%. Yeah.
Um, a couple of things though. Does anybody know for sure if she was actually blocking people or is that just what TikTok says? Like, what
Yeah,
if,
that's
you
a
know
good
what I mean?
Probably
question.
Like,
just what
What
TikTok
says,
says.
yeah.
because I feel like she would have
I can see
addressed
it
that in
though.
the podcast and she didn't say anything
You think
about
she
it.
would though?
Well,
You
I was
you
going to say,
would?
I mean, I don't
Well,
know
I
if
mean,
that's
I
something
don't
that I would want to address.
I would
well, but I feel like she addressed a lot of other things. Like she specifically said another big reason why she didn't mention it is because the particular type of surgery she had is like very new.
New? Yeah.
Yes. And so she said she like didn't want to like tell people she had it and then everyone's like, "Oh, I should go do this because she did it and she lost all this weight." And then because it's still new, obviously there's probably not a lot of like research or stats or whatever on it and she didn't want anyone to then like blame her if they didn't have a good experience because she was like, advocating
Hi.
for this surgery. But so I don't know. I felt like she addressed a lot of different things and I would think she would be like, people are saying that I was blocking people and I wasn't. I don't know. She just never said
But if
Did
she
she
anything about
was
it.
ever
blocking
address
them, then she
Then
anything?
might
maybe
not
she didn't
want
want
to
to
talk
break it up.
about
But
it.
Yeah.
but did
Could
she
be.
ever address anything that painted her in a bad light? No, she didn't.
Yeah, not really.
No,
I
she
don't
didn't.
know.
So I
Drop the
wouldn't
mic.
expect her to.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Oh, Stanley.
Okay, so for everyone who doesn't know, that's Stanley. That's Alex's dog.
Oh, I didn't hear him.
Okay, so this week, Chelsea and I are going to be sharing our experiences with becoming alcohol free. So, however you want to word it, sober, sobriety, alcohol free, not drinking alcohol anymore. We're going to share our stories and kind of what that looks like for us. We both have very different stories of how we got to the point of being alcohol free. But we're going to tell you a little bit more about our stories, our journeys, what it looked like to get there, how it's influenced different relationships that we have, and as well as the biggest point, motherhood. So, Chelsea, why don't you go ahead and kick us off and tell us about your story?
Okay. Woo, right when you start, like, about to come up, my heart just starts pumping, I don't know why, and I'm just
You got
like,
this,
"You
girlfriend.
guys." I know, I just need you to hear you guys say that. When Campbell has to take medicine, she's like, "Will you say Campbell, Campbell, Campbell?"
Chelsea,
Okay.
Chelsea, Chelsea.
Chelsea.
Alright. Okay. Whew, here I go. Okay. So, last year, Lucas and I gave up alcohol for Lent, and, um, the first he decided to give it up because the weekend before it had been kinda nice out, and he was over at our neighbors and just playing, bags, whatever, cornhole, and, just by the end of the day was just gone, and for no reason, like, and there our neighbor is completely fine, and Lucas and I are a lot the same, where when we start drinking, we go balls to the wall, like, it's not
You don't have a stop button.
Yeah,
we don't have a stop button because I don't ever feel it until it's too late.
Yeah.
sure.
So, I was like, let's give up drinking for Lent," and he was like, "That's a good idea." So, we did, and it was great. Like, the first weekend, we, like, would go hang out with friends, and we'd wanna drink, we wanted to drink that weekend, but then it's like we wake up on Sunday, and it's like, that was fun, and we
Yeah.
feel great today." And so we
Mhm.
just kept doing it, and then we decided I was like, "I like not drinking, I sleep better when I don't drink." Like, no matter if I was just drinking, like, 1 glass of wine, I would wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning no matter what, like, it does not matter. I would always wake up. So, that was my biggest why for a long time is because I wanted to sleep through the night. And then we were talking one day, I was like, "Let's not start drinking again after Lent." And he was like, "Okay, like, do you think we will drink again or whatever?" I was like, "Let's not drink unless, like, we go on vacation without the kids." It's like, "Okay." And so, 1, we haven't gone on vacation without the kids, but 2, I don't know that we would still, that we would drink just because we don't need it
And
anymore,
and it's been a
and
year now.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
been
Yeah.
over a year. So, for there was never a point where I was like, "I'm gonna drink," after Lent. I was like, "Let's keep doing it." Like I said, we were gonna do it on vacation, and then my biggest thing was, like, in June, we had the girls' weekend, we're in Kansas City, and I was like, "I really wanna try to do this without drinking."
You did
And
awesome.
so
Yeah,
yeah, and that was the hardest weekend of my
I bet.
year because I
Yeah.
really wanted to, and,
Instead, we ate
afterwards, I
real
was
good food.
we ate
Right.
good food, but, we were in Missouri, and I've never smoked weed, I've never tried THC ever, and I was like, that I should try that. I just wanna laugh, that's what I wanna do." So we got this, like, powder that I could put in some drinks, and it made me so tired and so miserable, and I didn't realize all weekend that that's the effect that THC has on me, and so I just thought that I was being such a dud without alcohol, when it was that,
Yeah.
not me not being able to have fun.
And you weren't being a dud, by the way.
I felt
Well,
so
kind of a
tired.
little. A little.
I
I
was
Maria,
don't think
so
she was.
tired. I was, like, bone tired, Catherine.
bone tired.
And,
Yeah.
anyways, so I've made it through the year, or I've made it the whole year, and it just I have no desire for it,
Well, and
and I just
even for our alumni weekend when we went
oh, yeah.
back, you were so much fun. You were so I
Yeah.
was kind of like thinking, "Oh gosh, is Chelsea gonna be like she was on our girls trip?" No, you were
It
so
was
much
that
fun.
it
Yes.
was yes,
And
and I can just
the best is you were a
the
DD like
DD
you were in
now.
high school.
Yeah, I know, I never drank in high school, and I always had so much fun, and then, like, as I got older, I felt like it was kind of a crutch because I'm more, like, reserved or more kinda shy when I don't know people, and so but I'm very, very much outgoing when I drink and the life of the party, and so it is I thought that I needed it, and I don't. So
You
it was
don't.
nice to find that out over the alumni weekend, and I had a great time.
Mhm.
I am a little nervous for our cross Canadian ragweed weekend. That's gonna take us back to our old days.
I know. I know. And I don't know that I'll ever I don't wanna ever say that I'm, like, never drinking again, that I'm sober forever, but I don't think that alcohol is going to become
Your
a
Crutch when you go out.
yeah, it's not
Mhm.
gonna be like it would be a very special occasion thing.
Right.
Um, and, I don't get hungover, but I would get very, very moody when I would drink, like, afterwards, and, just, take it out on everybody else because for the next couple days, your whole equilibrium is off, and so now I don't have those, now I do when I'm PMSing, but it's not just, I can't blame it on the alcohol, so
Right.
Yeah.
yeah.
So proud of you, Chelsea. You
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
very
awesome.
proud.
Yeah. Catherine, what about you? Tell
Yeah.
us your story.
So my story looks a lot different than Chelsea's. And I talked about this a little bit in the mindset episode. So in 2020 was the first time I really got serious about quitting alcohol and getting sober. And it was after I had gone through like a week-long bender of just partying. And I just had enough. And I kind of just had a moment like, I need to just stop. I need to take a break. And alcohol is not, serving its purpose. It's not helping me. It's really, hindering me in a lot of areas of my life. It's making me feel bad mentally, physically, emotionally. And it's just something I need to just put to the side. So I stopped drinking and was completely sober, no drinks at all. And for about 2.5 months, and then I found out I was pregnant with my son. So I feel like my sobriety journey was kind of cut short because, of course, it wasn't even an option for me to drink. Like, I know some people, will have a glass of wine during their pregnancy. That's not me. So I didn't even consider it. So then I just stopped working on my sobriety because it wasn't even an option for me.
Yeah.
So, those 9 months of being pregnant, I was, just enjoying my pregnancy, but I wasn't doing the work. And sobriety for a lot of people is more than just not drinking. It's actually doing the work and really getting to realize, more about yourself and why you do certain things and why, you used to drink for certain reasons. Just like Chelsea said, it was a social thing for her, kind of coming out of her shell and being the life of the party. And so sobriety, it's work. And I stopped doing the work once I got pregnant because I was like, okay, I don't, drinking isn't an option.
Yeah.
So then I had my son, and several months after, I was doing great. Life was good. Luckily, I didn't deal with any type of, postpartum issues. I had a very happy pregnancy. I had settled back into life having, after he was a newborn. So he was a few months old, and I was like, okay, I'm at a completely different point in my life now. I'm a mother. I'm doing great. I'm really happy. I can probably drink now. So I started drinking again, and I didn't go out, it wasn't because I was at home with my son, and it wasn't like a going out thing, but it would just be like wine on the weekends. So, "Oh, I've worked
Mhm.
hard all week, now I'll get a bottle of wine to have on the weekends." And it wasn't like I wasn't, making bad decisions. It's not like I was getting out and
Yeah.
driving around drunk. It's not like I was being, verbally abusive or doing anything that was causing anybody else any problems, but I felt like shit. And I do get really, really bad hangovers and
Bad hangover.
very bad hangovers. I mean, literally like 3 days, like sometimes
Oh.
4. And I just felt awful and I would feel bad, not just physically, but like Chelsea said, it's a mental and emotional thing too, because then, your body's trying to recover from this, drinking wine all weekend or whatever your drink of choice is. And for me, and so then I'd be in a bad mood and I would feel bad, if I drink wine on the weekend, then I would feel bad Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And then, you know, by the
You
time I
had
had
one day of feeling good, and
yes,
then
and
you
then it was
start
the
drinking
weekend
again.
again, and it was like a repetitive cycle. And so I was like, "Okay, I've gotta stop this, like, I'm sick of feeling like this." So I stopped drinking again, and I was sober for a few months, and then I got pregnant with my daughter, which we planned her she we planned to have, my daughter and my son about 2 years apart. And so I knew that was coming, and, but again, instead of learning from my first mistake, I stopped doing the work again. So, the work of sobriety, I didn't do it, and once again, I got comfortable, I was enjoying my pregnancy, so then I had my daughter, and I was like, "Okay, I'm at a way different point in my life. Now I've got 2 kids, like, I'm way more responsible." So when she was a few months old, I started drinking again, and it was the same thing, wasn't doing anything to cause anyone else problems, it wasn't causing problems, and alcohol, like, it never caused a problem with my job, I never got a DUI, like, I never had a rock bottom.
Yeah.
but it just wasn't working for me. And like Chelsea said, my stop button is broken. Like it's there somewhere,
Yeah.
but it doesn't work. And so I was never just like Alex can have like a glass of
I
wine
know.
and then
Alex
be
is
done.
the
A purple unicorn. Or like Gary, Gary's not a big drinker and he will order a drink maybe like once a year and then he'll drink like half of it and not even finish it. Like I could never do that. In fact, like back before we had kids, if we would go somewhere, I was slamming the rest of his drink, chugging the rest of his drink as we were walking away from the table because he didn't finish it, and I'm not leaving a drop of alcohol behind. Um, so then after I had had Nova and I was going through the same cycle, and I'm like, why am I doing this to myself? And I have so much discipline with like
Guilt.
work and I feel like I'm successful in so many different areas of my life, but why can I not be successful in this area of just quit drinking? Like I know it's not helping me, like it's holding me back. I got moody and cranky, like Chelsea said. It was, I wasn't as active and playing with my kids, and so it was holding me back from being a awesome mom. I was a good mom, but I wasn't great. And
Yeah.
then I'd feel,
But you were tired
I was tired.
and hungover.
It was slowing me down from work. It was slowing me down from my exercise and my health and my fitness goals. And I was having a really hard time quitting, or I'd quit, for a couple of weeks and then I'd be like, oh, okay, I'm going to try it again.
Because it was just kind of the
'Cause you're
domino
in a
effect. You
totally different
felt-
place that 2 weeks later.
Yes, totally. And it was just like a repetitive cycle because I was viewing it as a reward. I've worked so hard through the week.
Oh, yeah.
I'm taking care of my kids. I'm doing great. Like this is my reward. It's not a reward. It was some type of self-sabotage because I'm feeling like shit for days after, this
Did it matter how
rewa
much you
reward.
drank?
No, I
You
can
would still
literally
feel
yes, there have times and I say my stop button's broken, but there were times when I was able to successfully just have 2 drinks just to see what would happen, and I would still now I didn't have a 3-day hangover, but I felt bad the next day, and I would wake up, like Chelsea said, 2 to 3 in the morning, and then just,
Mhm.
like, I'd just be laying there like, "Why did I do this again?" And
Mhm.
so it was really a struggle for me, so in, April of 2024, I get my years confused, yeah, so last year, April 2024, I found this group, called Sober Mom Life, and it was up through a podcast I had found, and I joined this group online. And they had meetings that not I don't want to say like AA, but online meetings of just women who are moms and can come together and just kind of talk. And
Mhm.
so I ended up in a group text with 8 other women across the United States. Um, and so we've been in this group text for a year, and we literally talk every single day. I don't go to the
Wow.
meetings
That's so
anymore. I'm
awesome.
not in the community because I have them. And actually one of them, she's from Philly, my friend Laura, she just came to Dallas on Tuesday for work and we met in person for the first time and had dinner. Um,
Aw.
but
That's so
through
fun.
that
So awesome.
yeah. Through that group and just I finally got it to a point like where I was like, okay, like if I don't stop now, I'm never going to stop. And I'm just going to keep it's like I said, it wasn't really affecting anybody else. Like my kids don't know. They're, 1 and 3. They didn't know that I
Right,
was, I
right.
don't know,
Yeah.
it was more of a me thing. And it was, I'm holding myself back and I'm like, I have all of these goals and I'm not accomplishing them because every weekend I'm holding myself back. Or even if I went like a couple of weekends, that I'm right back in the same place. And it came to
Mhm.
the point, I'm like, okay, if I don't stop now, I'm never going to stop. So I just finally was like, I had had enough again. And then I really was like, okay, now when I gain some traction and make it a couple of weeks, I really have to dive in deep and do the work. And so I was going to these meetings and talking to, women who are just like me. And it helped because pretty much all of the women in this community, some were stay-at-home moms, but a lot were, working women who are moms and working and, successful. And like I said, a lot of people didn't have just some rock bottom moment where they, had
Yeah.
something terrible happened where they had to stop
Yeah.
drinking. And it was a lot of people with the same type of story as me. Um, and
I
so
bet that had to feel so good that there were, like, other people that
Right.
had a similar story that you could relate
yes.
to and
And
didn't
I'm
feel,
like,
like, alone in it.
oh, I'm not the only one out there that has these,
Right.
so many
Yeah.
people that are, living life and doing well and successful in so many areas, but they had this struggle with alcohol too. And it was just like,
Yeah.
it's no longer serving them.
Mhm.
One thing that, we talked about a lot in that group is how people will always if you say, "Oh, I'm not drinking anymore," a lot of people will question you, like, "Why not?" But if you
Yeah.
were like, alcohol is an extremely addictive substance. It is as addictive, they say, as cocaine and heroin. But if you were like, "Oh, I decided to stop doing heroin," nobody's gonna be like, "Why?"
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
What if you
Yeah.
stop drinking?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's gonna ask you. And because it's legal and, society has made it so acceptable, but a lot of people do struggle with it, and it's a lot more common than people think,
Yeah.
that people have this struggle with it. And so it's like Alex, I say, you're the purple unicorn because you can have a drink and then be like, "Oh, okay, I'm done," or,
I know, and I think
Yeah.
that if I could, like, feel it when I would drink the first drink, then maybe I wouldn't be that way. So, Alex, can you feel, like, if you drink a drink, can you start feeling tipsy at all?
No,
No?
no. Sometimes
I feel
it's really just like it just kind of helps me like wind down.
relaxed.
Like, yeah, I mean, and I don't like ever have a drink during the week. It would only be like
And I
a
never
Friday
would
after
either,
work.
yeah.
Yeah, like a
I
Friday after work or like
mm,
Saturday at dinner. But like I will literally just if we go out to dinner, I will order one drink and it's really just like I mean, no, I don't feel anything from it. And then I just have one and it's just kind of relaxing and social and then that's it. And I'm perfectly fine. I don't feel like I need more and it doesn't bother me.
no, I
But
feel
I
like I
can
need
do
more, and that's what I would I did not clarify, I was not drinking every night, I would just drink mostly
on the
it's not
weekend.
Monday to
like either
Friday,
one of
but
you
mostly
yeah.
were
Saturdays,
Yeah,
yeah.
drinking.
alcoholics or anything,
Yeah.
like you
But
just
I have an Aura ring, and when I would drink on the weekends, when I would wake up on Sunday, my, like, heart rate variability would be, like, 13 or so, and which
What's
is
it
not
supposed to
good.
be?
I don't know. Well, everybody's different, but that's really low for me. So
Mm.
now, like and then there was a month where I wasn't drinking, and it was, like, 25, 28, like, really high.
Um,
So, by the end of the week so on it would be 13 probably Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and I'd finally get my, like, back to go back up, and then
you
by
were
the end of the
drinking
week,
again.
when I wasn't drinking, and then I'd
Oh my
start it all over again. I'm like, "That is so not good for your body." Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
that was a
Yeah.
really, like, clear wake up call, where I could see it, like, physical data
Right.
right.
that it was
And
definitely affecting my sleep.
I was just gonna say, there are some, like, if I've had a really hard day at school, I will come home and I love chips and salsa and I can just have one drink. And
No,
I
I always think
also
about you. You can always just have like, you come home and have 1 beer and you're good.
and I
Like,
don't
that
do it every night. And really,
no.
I mean, on the weeknights, I really don't. Sometimes my girlfriends and I will go to our Mexican restaurant downtown and have one drink or two, but never like I could be perfectly fine with that. But I am a Barnes and I think it just runs in our blood, but I love the taste of beer. I do. I could drink an NA and still have my fix because
Yeah.
I
I
just
drank
really
NA
enjoy the
beer when I
taste.
was pregnant and I just liked
It's
to
good.
have the taste of it. Yeah.
See,
I
Yeah,
would
I
I
only
do
think
drink like
like the
one, but
taste.
I think the taste is disgusting. The only reason I was drinking was so I could get tipsy and then, go on and get drunk.
yeah.
But yeah, again, and I would never it wasn't hard for me to not drink during the weekday. It just wasn't an option. It was literally only on the weekends, but then it was this repetitive cycle,
Yeah.
every
Right.
weekend or like I said, maybe skip a weekend, but then the next weekend. And now I'm to the point I don't miss it. Um, I don't miss it and I feel so good and I just feel in such a great place that I'm like I don't see myself ever going back. It's like Chelsea, and you don't ever want to say never. But one thing I know about myself is if it was a special occasion, I was like, okay, I'm going to drink a little bit. Then the next weekend, I'm going to think of something that's a special reason.
Exactly.
And then I'm
Yeah.
going to be right back into the same place I was. I just know myself. You know what I mean? And
I
that's
don't
something
yeah.
about me. I'm not saying that's like everybody, but that's me. If
No.
I did it
And
once,
that's
it's going to
right.
slowly get back to the point where I'm drinking every single weekend.
I don't remember what the book was. I think it was one that we both read. But it was this lady that she's like, I've never, I'd been sober for years. And there was one time where I was at a restaurant and they brought like a wine tray around and I really wanted some. And she goes, but then I visualized like, what would that one drink do? That one drink would definitely turn into, well, I was fine. I just had one drink last night. I can
Mhm.
do it again tonight, tomorrow, or the
Yeah.
next weekend. And then the next weekend it turns into two. And then then it snowballs. And I do think about that too. Like, I think, if I allow myself to have a drink on a special occasion, then I'm gonna think, "Well, that's a special occasion. Well, this could be a
Right.
special occasion too." So,
Oh,
I
Mhm.
just don't know that I wanna open that can of worms, but I don't also wanna say that I never will drink again because I don't wanna I don't know. But I do
Yeah.
think about that.
Audra, what about you?
Well, I'll say this. I used to drink every night. I used to drink every night, like just a couple of beers, nothing crazy. And then of course on the weekends I could get pretty out of control. But I will say with my since I got on semaglutide, I don't wanna drink. Like, it is crazy. And
That's
what
so
I mean
awesome.
crazy,
Like,
people
you
think,
just don't have, like, the urge or the cravings anymore, or is it just kind of
well,
part of your health journey?
I just don't have the craving, for it. Like, people will talk about the food noise. Now, what since I got on semaglutide, I don't have the food noise, but I also don't have the alcohol noise either.
And they say that
Mm.
those shots also, like, can help people with, like, shopping addictions and stuff like that
Mhm.
too,
Oh,
right? Like,
Like, it
Wow.
helps with
like,
addiction.
it's
wow.
crazy.
So I don't ever think about alcohol. Like, I used to be, like, that type of person, like, 3 o'clock hit, "Oh, I cannot wait to have a beer." Um, like, it could be a good day, it could be a bad day, it could be nothing going on, it's like 3 o'clock, gotta have a beer, like, when I get home off of work,
Mhm. Yeah.
and then once I got on the shots, I never thought that way.
Mm.
Like, it
That's so
was just
awesome.
out
It's
of
like a
Yeah.
it
craving.
was out of my mind. I didn't think about it, and I didn't want it 'cause it
Yeah.
tastes differently. Now,
Mhm.
I will say I did try to have a beer, last night, and I don't know if it was because of my anesthetic or whatnot, or if my taste buds has changed, but, oh my god, it was the nastiest thing I've ever tasted.
Oh.
Really?
So could you finish it?
No, well, I did finish it, but it took me it took me an hour
She's
to
no
finish it.
Gary, she's not letting that go to waste.
It just tastes different, like, I don't know what it is, it just tastes really skunky.
Skunky?
Skunky.
Uh, yeah, skunky.
Maybe
Mm.
it was an old one.
No, because I've had a couple beers and I just can't do it since my surgery, so
Ah, okay.
but,
Nice.
I
Well,
will say
maybe that will just be even more part of your health journey, and obviously beer has calories and carbs, and if you're not drinking it, then that could help too.
I will say this, that since I started not this isn't like a semaglutide, like, rant, but since I started my health journey with semaglutide, a whole lot of other things changed for me, not just, like, from perspective of eating, but from perspective of drinking and all that other kind of stuff, so
And working out, like, you really did a
Yeah.
lot of
Yes.
Mhm.
major, like, healthy life choices when you got on the shot, like, I feel like it was kind of a
yeah.
boost for you because 'cause you've done a lot of
Right.
Absolutely.
work on yourself, Audra, you really have.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, so it's all been really good, so I'm not 100% sober, but I have cut down
Have cut back.
You've
Yeah.
Yeah,
changed your
Yeah.
lifestyle a lot.
Yeah.
for sure.
a lot,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
Mhm.
it's not a bad thing if you're drinking and you can stop, like
Yeah.
cut it off and like you should be proud of yourself, Audra. Like you said, not
Absolutely.
100% sober, but you have cut back way back and that's a huge step forward in
Mhm.
A
itself.
huge a huge step, yes,
So I
absolutely.
have
Yeah.
to share a story. Yesterday, I was at brunch. I have monthly brunch club with. I've talked about this before on here. With some of my good friends, a couple from college, and then a couple from Coffeeville. One 2 years older than us, Carmen, and then one a year younger than us, Tori. So, um, I ordered a mocktail, and they brought it over, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, this has alcohol in it." And she was like,
Did
okay,
it,
let me
like,
go talk to
smell
the."
like it or taste like it or
It
what?
tasted like it.
Oh.
So the bartender comes over and he comes strutting up to me with chaps on and a cowboy hat. And he was like, "That drink does not have alcohol in it." And I said, "How do you know?" And he said, "'Cause I made it." I said, "Oh, really?" He was like, "Yes." And so he assured me, he was like, "I promise." And, like, I believed him, and I was like, "Okay." And so it was like a passion fruit, habanero, jalapeno, and so I was like, "I'm probably just so used to any time I've ever had a drink in it with
That
jalapeno,
sounds really
habanero,
good.
it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
an alcoholic drink." So I tried
Mhm.
another drink, and I was like, "Okay, I really don't think it does." Obviously, I drank the whole drink, and it absolutely did not have alcohol in it. But shout out, Maria, this is gonna get you really excited. He said to me so after one of our episodes where we did our favorite things, Maria talked about Alavita for, like, 55 minutes. We all we all in well, no, Audra and I ended up ordering the products, and so
Mm.
I've been using them Audra, how long do you think we've had them? We ordered at the same time, maybe 3 weeks or so?
3 weeks, yeah, a month
So
maybe?
a month, yeah. And so he said to me, he was like, "I have a question for you, though." I was like, "What is it?" And he was like, "Where are your pores?" I said, "Huh?" He said, "Your pores." And he was pointing to his face. He said, "Where are they?" He was like, "I do makeup for a living, ma'am." And he was like,
Ooh,
"Your skin is so
dang.
smooth." He was like, "It's flawless." He was like, "You can't even see your pores." And I was like, "That is," and so
Girl.
I had to tell him about Olivita.
Oh.
Has he heard of it?
No, but he wrote it down and put it, yeah,
Oh.
put in his phone, and I swear by it because my skin did not look like that before, and I used to always feel like my pores when I put makeup on looked
You could
big.
just see it. Yes.
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 And that was
Yes,
something that
yes.
always bothered me. Like, I wouldn't say I was, like
Right.
a big thing, but it's something that I noticed. You notice things about yourself, and I was
Right.
like, "Why
Yeah.
don't—" So the fact that he said, "Where are they?" I'm
And
like,
after
"That's
3
cute."
weeks, like, I feel like that's crazy that it worked that quickly. And I was interested when Maria talked about it, but I have to be sold more than just by one person. So
Now
now
you have
that
3.
we've
Oh,
got
thanks.
3
Thanks, Alex.
people. Well,
Yes.
sometimes you get really excited about things, and I'm like, I just have to make sure that it's worth.
But
'Cause it's
all
not
the things
cheap.
that I've got excited about are legit.
I know, and we always all go do it
That's
eventually.
true, Maria.
I
That's
know, I
true.
even got her,
I'm kidding.
sunscreen.
Huh?
Oh,
I even got
there's
your
snow cone.
sunscreen.
You
Oh,
guys
there's
hear
some.
there's snow cone?
No,
No.
Chelsea's got a bird
Okay.
named
Chelsea has a
Snowcone.
bird named Yep.
Oh.
It's our best
But yeah,
friend.
so I will be ordering it because now I'm a believer. I just
And
haven't pulled the
you
so
trigger.
do
good.
have to start slow. Like when I first started, I just
Now
started out
Maria's
with the
drinking
F59.
Olivita.
Yes.
Literally.
Well, I haven't I did buy the internal, but when I bought it, I was sick or when I got it, and so I just still haven't but I'm gonna start it. But
So
I
the
started first
internal is
with the
something that you drink. I feel like
Yeah.
people
Yep.
won't know what that
Yep.
means.
So I will relink this into our show notes, and shout out to Shauna. That's who Maria
Yeah.
gave me her. So I went onto her link, and she is just fantastic. I've talked to her a couple of different times. She's reached out. I had to tell her about my experience yesterday, but she's
Aw.
super knowledgeable, super helpful, and I love the product. So
And
Maria,
Audra,
were
you
onto
said that you
something.
felt like your complexion hadn't been this good, or what did you say? I can't remember. Give your
Me?
testimony. Yeah, Audra. Yeah, what you
Oh
said
my
about yours.
god, I know. Well, I do a different regimen than what they do because I got the actual, cleansing gel,
Okay.
but I don't think that my complexion's been this good for this long this
Yeah,
good ever.
it looks so good.
It does look really good. That's
Yeah.
what I was
Mhm.
told
Yeah,
Mom
I
too.
know. I was just about to say this. Do you think me and Maria look a lot alike now that I have my jaw surgery?
I still
Twins.
think you look a little bit like your brother, but you look like Maria too.
Ah,
I'm just
Uh,
kidding. But no,
I
you
did
guys
start
do look related, obviously.
I did start with the cleansing gel, and I will say it kind of caused me to purge a little bit. I broke out some,
Mm,
but it was
yeah,
good. Now that I've used it for a while, that's stopped.
I
yeah,
love it.
nice.
Mm.
Okay, I'm
I
gonna have to
It's
get
I could
some.
talk about this for hours.
Okay,
Chelsea,
well,
we're gonna have to get some.
yes, you guys have to get some. I want to share just a few
Real
quick
quick.
stats. Oh, go ahead.
Okay, sorry. Real quick, while we're talking about Aloe Vera, if anybody
There we
wants
go.
to follow Jocelyn McClellan, she is the guru of Aloe Vera, and she'll just
Oh,
talk up go through everything. She has all these reels about it on Instagram. So
Awesome.
it's a good
okay.
good
We'll
place
have
start.
to tag her on our page as well.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so I want to share just some quick stats that I had looked up just about alcohol consumption and kind of how it's changed and what we've kind of learned more about. And then we'll get into our pains and gains. So I won't take up too much time. And I know some people get bored by stats, but I think these are important to share. So I'm going to go ahead and share them.
Go for it.
So this is one thing I think is very interesting. So the total beverage alcohol volumes has experienced a 3% decline in the last year. So specific categories: beer down by 3.5, spirits down by 3, wine sales by 4%. And they say the
Mm.
factors contributing to the decline are healthier habits. So some consumers are prioritizing health and wellness. The rise of non-alcoholic beverages. So NAs are becoming extremely popular. Mocktails,
Yeah.
like I just said. I mean, this place we went yesterday had an amazing mocktail menu.
Oh, can I say something too?
Yes.
Really fast about mocktails. So one of the books I was reading was you don't really think to get a mocktail or whatever, but if you think about cocktails are good but they're also trying to like mask the taste of the alcohol in them.
Yeah.
So mocktails are so freaking good because they don't have that
Yeah.
nasty alcohol taste.
Yeah.
I know. If you're
No,
ever
for sure.
thinking about getting one, get one.
And then another changing consumer preferences. So this is a big one that I've heard a lot about. So younger generations like Gen Z are drinking less alcohol than previous generations. So I actually just had a conversation
Oh.
um with someone. She's 25 and she doesn't drink often, and she said none of her friends do. And there's just a lot more awareness
All
around
there
kind
was
of
for us to do.
the health risks. That's all there was to do. But if you think about it, like, and think about cigarettes, like how they were back in the day. They were totally
Mhm.
acceptable. People were
True.
smoking in
Yeah.
office places. People were smoking in airports. I mean, look at like Mad Men. Did any of you
Restaurants.
watch that
Yeah.
show? Yeah, restaurants. You could smoke everywhere. And then people started realizing, the health risks. And now it's like you see somebody, if somebody walks by me smoking a cigarette on the street, I'll turn around and look at them like that smell,
Yeah, like
I just
what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
hate the smell.
Yeah.
So
Well,
the
and I will real quick, Catherine, thinking about like our high school students, like here, and maybe it's because we live in a small town. I mean, I'm sure there's some kids that do, but it's not like they don't have these alcohol parties anymore where they're like going someplace and all drink. Like they're just,
But
they're
you
not.
say
And
that the
like you
small
don't
town,
even,
maybe it's because you live in a small town, but Derek lived there and Derek definitely drank when he was
yeah,
Right.
there.
you're right.
Yeah.
You're
no, it's
right.
definitely
Yeah.
And
changing.
it is, yeah, it's,
Catherine,
and
do you have those stats, that one that you sent me on Instagram about
I know
the
which one you're talking about, and so
yeah.
it's when they stopped, the last time they aired a cigarette ad, and then because they don't longer obviously, you never see cigarette ads on TV. I think they in 1990 something was the last one that ever aired, and they said that they're starting to see trends to where this may happen with alcohol. Um,
Mm,
and so it
interesting.
says this is one that a lot of people probably don't want to hear, but need to hear. So, alcohol consumption is linked to at least 7 types of cancer, according to research from organizations like the American Cancer Society and the World Health Organization. These include breast cancer, liver cancer, colorectal cancer, esophageal cancer, mouth cancer, throat cancer, voice box cancer. The risk increases with higher alcohol consumption, but even low levels of drinking have been associated with some types, particularly breast cancer. So I think there's just, and like the Surgeon General, was that in January, I believe, when the Surgeon General said that he wanted to put a warning on all alcohol, kind of like they do on all tobacco products, that they can cause
Mhm.
cancer. Yeah, so there's just a lot more
So
awareness
type
around this
1,
than there
is
ever
it a
was
class
before.
1 carcinogenic?
I don't know.
I don't Catherine, I thought you would
I
know.
don't know.
No, I don't.
I'm not sure. I don't know which type it is, but it's a high one.
oh, wow.
I mean, they
And is
should
it
put a warning on
all alcohol or is it like
All
No,
alcohol.
liquor?
All alcohol, because alcohol is literally,
Alcohol.
unfortunately, just poison.
It's a poison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's all I have. So let's get it for the pains
Oh,
and
I was gonna say,
gains.
I'm sorry, one more thing. Snow Cone wants to say hi too.
No, snow cone's not
Stop.
allowed. Let's
Where
see
is
snow
Snow
cone.
Cone? Let's
He's
see
in
Snow Cone.
Lucas's
Sitting in
No.
Chelsea's lap.
No, he does not get to touch me anymore because he bites. Okay.
Oh.
So, if anybody is interested in cutting down or wants to try like some sort of uh challenge to stop drinking, one of the things that I did a couple years ago was called the alcohol experiment, and it includes like a day by day journal, and it has just different. It's a 30-day experiment or challenge that you can do, and each day has a passage that you read and kind of like goes, it talks about like the effects of alcohol or what alcohol does. Um, and then it asks you a question and you write down, you know,
Journal
your
about it.
answer. And every day, it builds and builds. But anyways, I really, really like doing that. So
Oh,
Nice.
can
Thank
you
you for
link
that,
that on the
Catherine.
podcast? We'll link that
yeah,
in the
we'll link
podcast
that
notes.
one.
For
Mhm.
sure.
Okay.
Nice.
All right. I will kick us off with our pains and gains. So for this week, my pain was just that I had to have some really hard conversations at work this week. It was a little bit of a struggle at work. And so I am looking forward to a fresh new week starting tomorrow. And then my gain for the week is that yesterday we had a jam-packed day. It was really fun. Anderson's spring soccer kicked off for the season, so he had his first soccer game. And then we went to the Royals game with my parents. And it was Tom's birthday. And so we got to go to the Royals game. The kids really liked that. They ate like an extra large size bucket of popcorn and they were in heaven that my mom bought for them. And then after that, I got to go downtown with my girlfriends and we went to La Bodega. It's a little Spanish tapas restaurant and it was so fun. And it was a little belated birthday celebration for me. So it was a
That did
super
look
fun
fun.
day. Yes, it was so fun. I love that restaurant. The food's so good. And it was just fun hanging out with the girls, no husbands, no kids, just a little girl time. So
I saw that on Instagram
What's
and
your
I was like,
favorite tapa?
probably the papas fritas, which is literally just like French fries. They're just like small little fried potatoes, but it has this like garlic aioli
course.
on it, and oh my
Oh,
god, it's so good. But I mean, there were 4 of us. We each picked 2 tapas, so we had 8 different tapas to share, and every single one of them was good. And then because it was my birthday celebration, they brought out these like raspberry filled churros with whipped cream, and oh my gosh, they were so good. So yes,
Yummy.
I was just going to say, I saw that on Instagram and I was like, oh my gosh, Alex is still celebrating her birthday. That was like a month ago.
You know,
You
I celebrate
would.
all month long.
I know. I love it. You might have one
Yes.
one more day, Alex. You're going to get
I
something in
know.
tomorrow.
Tomorrow's the last day. What am I gonna do? All right, Audra. What about you?
All right, so I have 2 pains and I have 2 gains.
Okay.
Okay, so my first pain is that my mom left me on Wednesday. That was such a
No.
sad day. Oh, I can't even talk about it without wanting to cry. It
Oh.
was such a good time. I mean, not a good time, but thank God for her and my dad for coming down and taking care of me.
Yeah. Such good parents.
Yes, and it's so sad for them to go. And my second pain is that I can't eat anything.
Oh.
That's
I'm on a
hard.
I'm on a no chew diet for 2 months, and
Oof.
that has been really, really hard.
Yeah.
But
I
I'm
don't
getting better.
Is
Huh?
it Can you not chew because
Yeah,
they don't want the pressure on the teeth? Because I feel like talking, you're moving your jaw,
it's because
or is it
they
because you're
took
numb?
they took pieces out of my bones or out of my jaw,
Ugh.
Okay,
and so I have bone grafts, and those take 2
they need to
months to
heal.
heal.
Okay,
Yeah.
Mhm.
gotcha.
So, but I have been swallowing things whole lately.
Audra, be careful.
I know,
You
seriously,
don't want to
Audra.
choke.
I
That
know, it's a
scares
little
me.
scary, it's a little scary.
Audra,
I've been doing good. I've been doing good.
She's been
Uh
drinking potato chips.
No, but I've been eating pasta and stuff like that, so I've been doing good. And then my first gain is that I got my jaw surgery done, and
woo!
it is fantastic, and I am so sad that I didn't get this done sooner. It is, life-changing for me.
I'm so
Mm.
happy,
We're so
Audra.
You weren't
happy for
supposed to
you.
get it done any earlier. You weren't in the right headspace.
Yeah,
This
that's
is
true.
just at the
Yeah,
right
this
time.
is the right time.
Amen.
Everything
Everything always works out for you.
It
the
always
That's right.
it 100% always does, and then my second gain is that, I am going after this is done, I am going to go get a little bit of a treat at McDonald's.
Woo!
Ice cream. That's what I've been telling myself is that I can't really eat anything, so I'm just gonna go get a treat every night. And
What do
so
you get at McDonald's for your
Uh.
treat?
I'm gonna get a shake, a strawberry shake.
Oh.
Ooh, yummy.
Oh, and my third gain is that I'm gonna look like Maria in no time.
Oh.
Audra, you're beautiful just the way you
Her
are.
eyebrow.
Look
Oh,
at
All
me
you
right.
are
beautiful than I
beautiful
am
before
Maria.
surgery and you're beautiful after surgery, Audra.
Mhm.
And you're beautiful drooling, Audra.
No, I know. All
All
right.
right. Well, I
Else?
think we all know what my pain for the week was. Does everybody want to
Working.
go ahead and tell them?
Car lunch.
She had to work 4 days this week.
Yep.
Oh, I was thinking it was car lunch too.
Oh.
Oh,
No,
I
4
like car
days.
lunches. No, that's not really my game. Well, I did have to work 4 days, and I just want everybody to know it that I had to work 4 days in a row. I think that's the problem is that I had to work 4 days in a row.
Maybe like explain why that's such a problem so you don't just sound like this
A brat.
snooty.
No, I'm totally kidding. I am kidding. It is just very exhausting on the body, but I am mostly kidding.
She's a dental hygienist. Chelsea.
She has to hunch over. Yeah,
It's
you have
just
to
my
hunch
Like,
back
it's
over.
very
to get
exhausting on the
tired.
body, but still doesn't say what she does.
Right. People are like,
Yeah.
"What is she doing?"
Yeah. Well, I think that I've said
I
yes.
know, but
She's a
we might
stripper,
have new
she's an exotic
followers.
dancer.
Oh, she
Okay,
was
but
an exotic dancer.
so my real pain was that today was my son's first communion,
Mhm.
and, he we go to the biggest Catholic school in Wichita. So, they had the first communion at 3 o'clock today. So, in my head, normally they have it in the morning, and in my head, "Oh, it's
Was it
just the
during mass?
classes." Yeah, they have it during mass, like the regular masses, and not to go to that mass if you don't have a first communion kid. But anyway, so they're having it at 3 o'clock. And I was like, oh, well, there's going to be plenty of room. Like we have a big church. There's going to be plenty of room. So he had to be there at 2:40. Communion's at 3. We drop him off at 2:40. The church is packed, like standing room only.
Oh,
And my
no.
dad has a walker, and like I was about to cry. I was like, where is he going to sit?
Oh.
There's nowhere for him to sit. And so I asked one of the ushers, I was like, "Is there gonna be anywhere for my dad to sit with a walker?" And he came and found me. He's like, "We just put some chairs back here." So we went out into the area, and I'm like, "I can't see his first communion at all." Like, I was getting so sad because I am not going to not see him get his first
Right.
communion. So I was like, "Let's just go stand in the back. I'm not gonna do this." And so we went and stood in the back, and, um I'm gonna give uh, so that's my pain, but
Was your dad
everything
able to see
always
anything?
everything always works out for us, and once the kids came up to the like, once they took the reserved seats, then the first people he came and got were me and Lucas and,
Oh.
Louis, and he took us up to we were right, like, front row, like, not
Oh,
front row of the
perfect.
church, but right behind them, so I had to
Nice.
lean over and let them know everything always works out for us. So that worked out, and it was beautiful. Like the kids singing, oh my gosh, it was just so beautiful. Um, so that is my gain, and then also my parents and my sisters and everybody being able to come to the first communion was just really special and just wonderful.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
that was mine, and him was just so handsome in his
He
suit.
He
was.
was so cute with his little
We
bow
saw a
tie.
picture. Yes.
Yes,
Mhm.
He
so
was so
cute.
handsome.
All right, Catherine, what you got?
Well, I
Oh,
had a
I
really
got
good
so nervous that I didn't have my alphabet together. Okay.
No, you had it.
Okay.
I had a really good week. I was trying to think, like, I don't know if I really had any pains, but then I did remember, so we had to get a new roof in November, from a hailstorm, and then we have to get fence repairs from this crazy windstorm that happened a few weeks ago, and then the other night it started hailing so hard, like, it
Ugh.
sounded like, there were
Oh, hell
bombs
no.
going on. I know that I texted you guys and said, "Oh, hail,
Yeah.
no, it's hailing," and nobody responded, I don't think.
I don't think
But
I saw that.
it was
I
hitting
don't remember
so
seeing it
hard,
either.
like, it was
That's scary.
it was so loud,
I
and all
hate
I could think
hail.
about was, "Are we gonna have to get another roof?" Because it was so I mean, it sounded huge, like, we've had quite a bit of hail, but it sounded huge, and I was just like, "Oh my gosh, I do not want to" of course, we have
Yeah.
insurance that covers it, but you still have to pay, I mean,
Yeah, deductible, yeah.
several
Yeah.
$1,000s for the deductible, yeah. Um, so our roofer came over the next day and he was like, "You guys are good," and we have obviously brand new shingles and they're upgraded to like the heavy duty kind. Lots of our neighbors are having to get new roofs, but we're all good.
Ooh.
But it's just stressful every time now that I hear it
Yeah.
hailing and like I love this time of the year, but I could just do without all this
Oh.
I
crazy storms.
know.
Oh,
I
hell no. I
know.
hate this time of year.
And I don't know I don't know if it's like because we live right by the lake, but I feel like it's I don't know if like the winds just like gust off I don't know. It just seems like it storms over
Mm.
here more than we
Yeah.
lived like right in the city. Like when we lived right in Dallas, I feel like the storms weren't I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It could be. Yeah.
Or the tall buildings all right there.
Yeah. Yeah, so maybe that blocked some of it, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, but my gains. Well, I already mentioned one on Tuesday when my sober mom friend Laura came in from Philly and we had dinner and it was just amazing. So glad to meet her in person. And then my brunch club yesterday, another huge gain, but my
Mhm.
biggest gain for the week. And I told you guys in the group text, but so I always thought Nova, my 1-year-old daughter, just wasn't going to be that affectionate because she's just like, she's very wild and rambunctious and just not like a big cuddler and hugger. Well, she just recently started giving the best hugs and, like,
Oh,
kisses,
I
and now
love
she's
it.
just all of a sudden, like, so
Aw.
affectionate, and Cinco's always been very affectionate since he was a baby, and she climbed up on my lap yesterday, I was sitting on the couch and just kept kissing me just
Oh, that's the
Oh.
best.
and she's just been so sweet, and it was just like it really melted my heart.
Yes.
It was
that's
the
yeah.
best,
I love
Kathryn.
that.
Because
Mm.
I had just come to the conclusion, I'm like, that's just not her character. She's just not really affectionate like that, and that's
Yeah.
okay. And now it's like, and she just like wraps her
And I just
arms
loves
around
it.
me. And
No.
Harry walked in the other day. They had been fishing, and she
I was
just
just gonna
ran
say, what
up
about
to
Cinco and fishing?
oh my gosh, yes, they.
That's the cutest. You need to get him some little rain boots.
He has rain boots, and he loves them. And he cried yesterday because his dad made him take them off outside because they were muddy, and he wanted to bring them
From the
inside.
okay. Oh, awesome.
Yes,
Oh, I love it.
but yeah. Anyway, what about you, Maria?
I would say, okay, I have a couple pains. So a couple weeks ago, so since we didn't record last Sunday, since we had to do 2 back to back, we had dueling pianos here at our country club. It was a fundraiser for our hospital, and I wore a bodysuit, and I had gone to the bathroom and I didn't tuck the back of my bodysuit in. So I had a tail.
You didn't tell us this. You just must
But
have
I
told
had
Chelsea.
I had like a moto jacket on, so like it just looked like the tail was
So
like
it was just
sticking
flapping.
out. Yes. And I walked through the club. I had my heels on, walked
You
through
were
the country
strutting.
club, like thinking I was, went over to my husband to get my drink. And then so I walked all through the bar, like
Who told you your
area
tail was out?
with my tail out. And then I walked off and somebody tried to catch me and I just kept going. It was loud in there, drilling pianos. And then so Derek texted me and I didn't get it until I sat down and he tried to catch me. Then I proceeded to go into the other side where everybody was in the pianos and walk in front of the pianos, but like dancing as I'm walking.
No.
And I sat down and one of the girls I was with, she was like going to tuck it in. But before I could do that, somebody behind me came up and she goes, just because I love you. And then another girl at the table was like, oh my gosh, Marie, I just got a text message from so and so. And
So
your body's
everyone's
just
talking
out."
about it.
So then I turn around and everybody's laughing and leave it to me. I just stand up and like start dancing as I tuck it in.
Oh,
my
God.
gosh. It was
That's
so embarrassing.
hilarious.
Tell him what you told the dueling pianos that you wanted him to play next.
Shake your tail feather.
Oh my gosh.
And they did.
Oh
They
my
did?
God.
Yeah.
That's
And then my
awesome.
other pain is last night, guys, I was so excited. We were having a basement party for basketball, the boys and Derek and I, and Texas Tech was winning. They were beating Florida. I thought for sure. I chose them. I thought for sure. And
Oh.
then it all went downhill and Florida still won.
Oh, dang, girl, your
But
bracket's wrecked.
I know. then
That's your
after
pain.
that-
That's a pain for you. You big Texas Tech fan.
No, but I had them out of like I was one of the only ones. Like Derek has a big pool, like over 150 people in it.
And Anderson's number 4, by the way, right now. He's
Is
so
he?
pumped. Yes,
I was
he's
like
number
doing
4.
so like if Texas Tech would have won, I would have moved way up. Like I was in 19th
Okay.
place and then I dropped down to like 31st. But then speaking about March Madness, I have a new hot coach.
Who is it?
John Shire for Duke. Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm
He's
gonna have to
very
look it
nice
up.
looking. Yes.
Isn't he
Love
the
him.
little dweeb guy?
John.
No, he's not a dweeb. He's tall.
No.
thinking
Yeah.
of-
I'm thinking
Duke.
of the
He
I'm thinking
okay.
of the
These are
Florida
all
coach.
of Maria's are better than Alex's hot coach list
Okay,
from
he's
last week.
cute. Oh my God, he's my age.
Right.
Oh, he is
Young,
cute.
He's cute.
Okay, yeah, he's cute.
He's really cute.
I saw him and I was like, wait, Alex didn't say anything.
Guys, I Googled
Your
hot
list
coaches.
was
It's not like
terrible.
I was watching the games and writing down their names saying, oh, this one's hot. I just Googled hot coaches and that's what came up. So I won't be doing that.
Okay, but he's a dork though, Maria. Have you looked at all of his pictures?
No, he's not a dork. I stalked his wife on Facebook, and they're
Oh my
a darling
God.
family.
Of course you did.
Yeah, they're a darling
Yeah,
family.
he's cute. He's cute.
Okay, real quick, my gain is this past Friday, some teachers and I and our husbands, we left right after school. We have a party bus and had it ready to go, and we went to the horse races in Grand Island, and it was so much fun. And I've never been to the horse races. I don't know why I hadn't been, but it was a lot of fun.
It looked like fun.
Yeah, it did.
Awesome.
And judging by your voice, sounds like he had fun.
Right?
Yes.
Right? Yep. The next morning, yeah, it was not. And needless to say, this is why you girls that don't drink wake up feeling better, because yesterday was like a wasted day. Even though I had to get up and go to a baby shower, and then we went to Phillipsburg, and I tried to a restaurant there, and I tried to get on to my cousin's bridal shower, and my phone Zoom would not work. But also, I think it's because my phone is ancient. I need a new phone.
All right.
Yeah.
Good story, Jared.
Good story, Jared. Is that what you said, Chelsea? Good story,
Yes,
Jared?
yes. Mhm.
Thank you for joining us for the podcast you didn't know you needed. Now you know. So we hope you'll join us next week on Growing Pains and Gains, where we'll be discussing balancing our careers and family with Alex leading the discussion. See you next week.
Bye.